Hey there, my name is Andre. I want to show you this web application that I'm working on. It's called My Resource Planner, MyRP in short. And it's a web application that you can use for tracking your payments, tracking your income, and ultimately for planning your budget. And because it's a web app, you can access it from your phone, from your tablet, from your laptop, wherever you are, right? So with that in mind, let's get straight into it and have a look. So what you see here is the main page, the main view, the dashboard, let's call it, where you first get front and center an overview of the savings you've been making. So this is what this chart shows you. Underneath, there's a list of buckets that represents either bank accounts or pools of cash that you might have. So I like to use this concept of a bucket to indicate that, also because I kind of think that I have all the times these buckets that I can carry full of money everywhere. So those are the buckets. Underneath that, you get a total amount of money you have in all of your accounts, all of your buckets. Then underneath, there's a forecast, and you can select a particular date until when the forecast should be made. Let's say it's the 23rd of August, like here. And until that date, the app will show how much income and how much payments you're gonna make, so that at the end of the forecast period, knowing what your total amount is right now and your income and payment, you can find out what your balance is gonna be. So that's the main point of the application, to track this balance, and you can see this in this bottom container here, but you can also see it in this other chart, not only for the moment when your prediction ends, which is indicated with this vertical bar, but also until then and after that. So overall, the app can make a prediction, can make this forecast for 3 months from now. So that's the main point of the dashboard. And let's have a look at the elements that go into creating this overview. Right. So first of all, what you have to define are these buckets that I mentioned earlier. There's this buckets view that shows you what are the current ones. They can be edited from here, deleted if you want to remove them, or add new ones according to how many bank accounts you have. Then from each bucket, you either make payments or you receive money into a bucket, right? So that's what I call transactions. And transactions are also tracked in this view. And the idea is, once you start using the application, you also start tracking all the payments and all the incomes that you get in this page. And yeah, with each transaction you make, you just record it here by clicking this add button. So what you do from this transaction form is that you can describe what the transaction is about. You can associate it to the bucket from which it was made or into which it was received. You can also associate it with a prediction. I'll get to that a bit later. And finally, you can categorize it using one of these tags down here. So speaking of those categories, what you get by assigning the categories to the transactions you make is, on this category page, you get an overview of how your spendings are split across those categories. So you can also enter new categories from the same view, but also for the existing categories, you can have a look at how you've been spending money over the past few months. right? Depending on when you started using the app. So this is how these charts look like for me in my demo account here. So that's one side of the story, right? Related to the payments and the money you currently have and how those different transactions rolled into the current situation. And the other side of the story is related to that forecast, right? So to make a forecast, you would first need to use this view here called predicted transactions to enter predictions about transactions you're going to make either one-off or recurrently in the future. So as you see here, I've entered my salary, some weekly transactions I make. So you define the recurrency in here and you keep adding them. And what that allows is, as I said, it allows for this forecast to be calculated. And what the app does in this view is simply take those transactions, check which ones are recurrent, and spread them out over the next period that you want to make a forecast on. And what this helps you is keep track of what's coming next, and also use this as a checklist for the payments you're going to make. So as you're doing those payments, you can mark them as done in here by ticking them off this list. So going back to the dashboard, this is how the different elements are being calculated and put together, and this is a bit what you have to do in order to get this overview. The last thing I want to show you is related to the fact that I have these savings, right? And the money that were saved are not shown right now in the buckets that you see on the screen. What I have to do in order to see that, I have to click this checkbox, and then I get on my screen also the saving buckets. And what I have here, because I have savings both in euros and in US dollars, I get a column for each currency, and each column works the same in that I get all the different buckets listed first, then the total amounts of money for each currency, then the prediction, and finally the balance at the end of the prediction period. But I like to keep this overview clean, and I untick this and just keep front and center only the buckets from which I make most of my transactions. So that was the walkthrough. What I would like to invite you to do, if you liked the application and if you like this idea, please reach out to me to get a user account. So I would like to get more user and the user feedback so that I can know how you would like me to improve this and make it more useful for you. And on the other hand, what's also really important for me, if you're interested in collaborating with me on this project, so either because you're interested in this topic of personal finance and personal resource planning, and you have ideas that you would like to contribute with, so either for that or because you're interested in the technical components that go into an application like this, which by the way, I've used Django and Python to make the web app. So if you're passionate about that and you want to practice your skills or you want to learn for any of that, also please let me know. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. And also have a look on the blog that I've created for the app. Its address is about-myrp.agawebs.com. I'll put the link in the description of the video. From the blog, you can also access the demo environment that I just showed, and you can play around in there. And also, you can see some other ideas and material about why you should be planning your budget, how you should be doing it, and how this app can support you in that. So that was it. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And thank you very much.